Oh, I just remembered something as well. Do you guys know next week I'll be doing my examination and I'll be a full-time biker. Don't know if that's good. Yeah. So yo guys, putting this thing is proving to be a problem. Can you see me? Can you see me? I'm putting you on top of a pillow. 1 second, let me bring my breakfast coming. This is what I'm having for breakfast. This is breakfast come lunch, brunch, yeah. So this is a beef patty, some rice cake. I have some kachumbari and sauce on top, and then of course I have the green stuff, is the garlic and herb cheese. And then I'm also having a black coffee, black tea, not coffee, sorry. Yeah. So hi everyone, I hope you can see me well. Welcome back to my channel. This is More with More. I'm happy, I'm excited you're all back. It's the International Women's Day, so by the time I'll be posting this, so happy International Women's Day to all the women around the world. And this is why now I have decided to do this video. So yes, I believe as women we face a lot of health challenges, and sharing is actually caring, and probably somebody will learn a thing or two about my journey. Yes, so I hope it helps. And then a disclaimer, I'm not a medical practitioner. What I'm sharing is what I went through. So please check in with your doctor or any medical practitioner that you work with. But hopefully this will give women an idea of what it feels, or how it feels to go through this entire process, how this journey is actually can actually be for you. Of course, by different, my experience might be different from yours, whichever the case, but I believe this should help somebody out there who has no idea of what to expect. Okay, so I'll go straight to it. If I'm unable to say everything right now in this video, probably I'll do a part 2. So yeah, let's start. I know it's a big word, hysterectomy. Hysterectomy basically is a procedure that you go through to remove your womb, remove your ovaries and your cervix. Like, that is one part of it, and it goes out. Or it can be like partial, where not everything is removed, but just a part, only your womb itself is removed, the rest is retained. So yeah, for me, this is how everything started. I'll take you back a long time ago where it all started. So here I was years back. I was 12 years old. At the time, I was in primary school. If you're in Kenya, you know primary school, the elementary part of schooling. And I was 12 years old, and it was, I remember very well, it was on a Sunday night. So Sunday night, I was at home, just chilling, waiting for Monday so that I can go to school. By the way, I was very bright, and I am still a bright and smart girl. So yeah, I just had to put that in there. So yeah, I was really looking forward to school the following day, and voila, I go to the washroom. Yeah, and I see something, yeah, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? So I'm like, probably it's just maybe I wiped too hard, you know, just making an excuse of what this could be. So essentially, that is when I got my first period at that specific time, at the age of 12. So there I was at home. It was just what can I say, a sport or something. Yeah. So I was like, I brush it all off. I just brush it all off. Come Monday morning, I showered, dressed up, went to school. I mean, I was really looking forward to go to school as usual. Yeah, let me eat a little bit. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten the whole day. Nice. So here I was. I'd already gone to school. It's Monday, and then I feel, ladies, you know what I'm talking about, yeah? If you're having your period, as in when it comes, you feel as though there's a flow. I hope it's not too much TMI, but I know the ladies know. So yeah. So again, I rushed to the washrooms, but now in school. And then, there it was, like that. There's no doubt, because at this particular time we'd already learned about periods in school, so I knew exactly what to do. And by the way, I'm a millennial, so those who went to school during those days, there used to be a subject called home science, and then you used to learn all these things in that subject. So I knew exactly what to expect. I'd seen different girls in the school have their periods in school abruptly, and it wasn't something that was frowned about. I mean, girls were growing, we were in puberty at that time, and it just all started. So my house wasn't far from school, so I left the school and rushed back home. I told my mom what had happened, and then that's essentially how I started my periods. So again, the relevance of being bright is at that specific time I used to have pretty much cramping. But given the fact that my mind was concentrated on learning, was concentrated on knowing new things, when I used to have my period, like, it used to be just like a small itch to me, right? So pain, cramping and all that was just a by the way for me. So I didn't take it seriously. Like, I mean, I expected it. I mean, I'm cramping. The process I already learned about, it's because now your uterine wall is actually contracting to release the tissues and the blood in the uterus when there's no fertilization. So I expected pain. I didn't know what level of pain was bad or needed medical attention, and what level was just enough. So I pretty much went through my primary school with pain, but it didn't really bother me. I mean, it was just, I used to feel as though it's just a scratch. Wow. So here we go. I finished school, and I'm in high school. It was a girls boarding school, and everybody there or not everybody, most girls had their periods. So people used to complain of cramps. I'm like, you guys, why are you complaining of cramps? I mean, I'm strong like that. So where I'm from, this is just a by the way, yeah? And I want to tell all the ladies out there, people experience this differently. Yeah, don't feel ashamed for feeling that pain. It's actually you going through it. So you need to speak up. If you need medicine, you need to talk to somebody. All right. So don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed about that specific pain when you're going through it. And then for me, okay, the pain now became worse. And as I was transitioning to high school, I told my mom. And that at that particular time, it was just we're like, okay, we'll continue monitoring this and see what happens. And in the event I would feel pain, I would take in some pain meds, and I carried my pain meds to school, that is high school. And shock on me, that is the first time things went haywire for me in high school. So in high school, the rule is if you have any sort of medication, you need to take it to the sanatorium, so you'll be picking it from there. And for me, I kept it in my locker. Guess what happened? We had a swoop. We had a swoop, like they check your stuff, like, do you have any drugs? Yes, in high school. Do you have any illegal things in high school? And there I was. I tried explaining my situation, but rules are rules. So I was suspended in the first term of high school because of that medication. Yeah, so I was distressed at that particular time because I was wondering why somebody couldn't listen to me and just hear me out, okay? And I believe this is why most girls don't talk about their situation, because you are not sure how people will react. Will they support you? Will they be there for you? And at times, you don't get people who will understand where you're coming from. So you're like, it's either black or white for them, and then now you get yourself in a situation where you wish you didn't tell anybody about it. So I was suspended. I came back, I scrubbed pavements, I did all those sort of punishments just because of that. But I didn't lose hope, because I knew in the long run, this was just temporary. This is something, this is a place I'm going to be for just 4 years. Just hold on that thought. Again, life is not fair, right? And life, you go through things you don't expect to go through, but I mean, you don't get mad at everybody, yeah? Right? Life continues. That is part of life. So I took it in stride and actually continued with my schooling over there. So yeah, in high school, again, I managed the pain. I mean, I was there to study, so yeah, it wasn't a bother. Yeah. So as I grew older, the pain started getting worse, and I didn't understand why. Yeah, I didn't understand why. So after I left high school, of course, we have 2-year break to do any other thing. Again, I lived in a girls' hostel. For those who don't know, I lived in Ngara hostels at that time. So after high school, I used to go to Strathmore University, and I lived in Ngara hostel. So this is basically getting introduced to life as it is, learning to be on your own, trying to manage money that you do have. And I believe it was quite an eye-opener for me, especially transitioning from being a child to an adult. And it gave me quite a view of what to expect with the world. Yeah, so at that specific hostel, yeah, again, I had friends who talked freely about what they were going through, what was happening. And I think that is where I got confidence to also talk about my situation. And at that particular time, I think I started opening up and trying to see, okay, fine, how can I manage this? Is it only pain meds that can help? Can I go to a hospital to be helped out? What can I use to manage the pain as well, apart from medication? You know, what can I do? My diet and everything else. So I managed this by eating a balanced meal, and at the same time avoiding foods that would trigger the pain to be more intense than it usually is. So I learned, and this is different from everybody, I learned what to eat and what not to eat. And it fairly went well for me. It went well for me. And then once I finished that, I actually got admitted to university as it is. So now I went to uni. Again in uni, because I had the freedom, luxury of going home and coming back to campus. During those times that I used to feel it's going to be intense, I used to just go home and stay at home, then come back to campus. So my life used to be like that. In campus, life was fairly simple, given I'd already known how to manage this, so it wasn't a bother to me, all right? And then after I finished campus, I got employed, and now I have the medical cover to go for checkups, all right? So during the medical checkups, that's when one of the medical checkups, right? The doctor told me, you know what? We've examined you. Okay, you're fine. Like I have no kind of disease or anything. But when we look at your scans, we see fibroids. I mean, late 20s, early 30s, I had fibroids, okay? Now, this wasn't a bother for me because at that particular time, I wasn't looking at having children at that particular time, yeah? So I wasn't really bothered. I already had my son at that time. He's now a big 14-year-old. So I wasn't really looking at having a baby at that time. So I was like, okay, fine. What can we do about it? The doc said, well, we can just leave it for the moment. But of course, some of the things you'll experience are heavy bleeding and what have you. So like, heavy bleeding, no problem. This is something I can manage. I don't really mind it. The pain, of course, the usual that we do take, pain meds. So before my periods would come like a day or two, because mine used to come as clockwise, like clockwork, not clockwise, clockwork. Like if it's today's Monday, it's supposed to come on Monday the 5th, it comes on Monday the 5th. So on 4th, I would pre-medicate myself, and then life is easier, yeah? So I only deal with the heavy flow. All right, so this continued for a while, and then again, like I said, the pain still continued, right? Still continued, but given the doctor had said, okay, this is still okay for you, you know, you don't want them removed, your fibroids removed, and then we can stay as it is and monitor as you come. So every 6 months, I used to go for my checkup, my gynecological checkup. So it went on like that. I had no problem of pain for 1 or 2 days. We can manage that. I mean, I am strong. but they don't get me wrong. You don't have to be strong like we are. If you feel bothered, then please, like I said, I'm not a medical practitioner. Do what's best for you. Just do what's best for you. So at this particular time, I had the cramps and I didn't have my medication. But of course, I had my colleague. We usually call her a walking chemist. If you want the preventive, the OTC medication, you definitely get. I know people you have that friend who like comes through for you. Like you get a headache and you're like, do you have, like, yeah. I'm so grateful for her because oh my goodness, she helped me on those times when I was like, whoa, what can I do? What do I do? Why? So yeah, while working in the office, I actually managed it as well. I remember I started with primary, where I was under the care of my parents. I was able to manage it in high school. Now I lived alone and learned a few things with friends, and I learned how to control my diet, such that during those times I knew what to eat and what not to eat. Not knowing that diet had something else in store for me, which I'll let you know just in a few. And then now I'm in a work environment where I'm dealing with clients, I'm dealing with colleagues, and this is an environment where it's business, right? So also in that type of setup, I learned and managed how to cope with my situation. All right. So as time went by, I had an assignment. I got an assignment, and it was to work outside the country. So given I'm used to my medication, I was like, let me carry a few and then go. Now, the thing is that in my assignment where I was out of the country, there are certain dynamics that actually affect your periods outside your internal dynamics, okay? So there are things to do with stress levels, there are things to do with sleep and all that. And given it's a high-paced environment, and for me, I am a performer and I have to push myself, I keep on pushing myself, it reached a point where these pains just got too much for me. So thank God again for my medical cover. I was able to go to hospital. I got my injection, and the pain is eased off. All right. And for those who have period pains, you know how it feels. As though it's as though you are being cut into half. Like, I don't know. It's somewhere here for the ladies who know, somewhere here, right? You feel as though somebody's just cutting you into two, and then at the same time in between your pelvic area you feel as though somebody's brushing a hacksaw. Like that's the kind of pain I used to go through. Yeah, so wow, ladies, you know you're strong. Like I don't know even what to say at this point in time. We are very strong. Yeah, we are very strong. And I think having an International Women's Day just to celebrate us is a plus. Like, you deserve all that. Yeah. So I got my injections to manage the pain, and then of course I used to stay in an apartment complex. So my best friend used to come and check on me when I'm not in the office. So yeah, again, when you are at work and you have teams looking up to you, you find yourself braving the pain, right? Because here you are, yeah, you want to make sure that everybody's fine, everybody's doing okay. Are you able to tackle everyone's problems and everyone's requests? Yeah. So I didn't want to come out as a weakling to my team. So of course that brave face used to be there all the time, because you need to help out. Yeah. And I thank God because He gave me the grace to do so, and I was able to do my work well, right? So it started getting crazy for me. And towards the end of my assignment, it got pretty worse. Why do I say that? Now, apart from having pains during my periods, I used to feel pain during ovulation, and I used to feel pain during bowel movement, like number 2, when doing number 2. So those 3 together made my quality of life to go down. Like, I just couldn't. And again, with the checkups that I used to do, the number of fibroids and the size of the fibroids also increased. So like, my womb was just a ball with all these balls inside. Now I can joke about it. At the time it was, you know, have you ever, in fact, when a painful contraction comes, Have you ever seen yourself sit as though you want to sit with the side of your bum bum, like this? Like, you sit like this. I don't know how to do it. I think the ladies know. You cannot sit like this. This is a myth. This is a rumor for you. You either sit this way or you sit this way. Crazy. Now I can laugh about it, but I know people out here go through it. You go through it, yo. And then the contractions, they come in cycle. So when they come, you want to like squeeze yourself and doll yourself up, then breathe out, yeah. And that happens. That actually does happen. So that used to be my life, yeah. 4 days in a month, that had to happen. And then ovulation day, you have the same pain. And then the day when you are going to number 2, you have the same pain. I'm like, this is not how life is meant to be, right? And then to top it all off, you have to be brave and show up. For all the things you're doing, you have to show up. There's no slacking for you, yeah? There's no slacking for you. Anyway, so when I came back to Kenya, I decided, no, I need to go see my gynecologist. So yes, I went. I explained my problem and now the level at which it had reached, okay? So my doctor was like, okay, fine, we will need to do an intra something, I can't remember. You see the way you do an ultrasound from the outside of your stomach, now this one, the ultrasound was done inside, okay? Yeah. So everything had to be checked, and because this was crazy. Tell me why I'm having a bowel movement and I'm in pain because of the front. Like it wasn't sitting well with me at this point in time. I was like, we just need to check this thing out. So yeah, the scans were done. The doctor did what he did, just went through the scans with me and finally told me what the issue was. So the problem was, aside from internally inside my womb, I had also abnormal growth outside, okay? And what happened is the connectivity tissues, at least that is how I understood it, next to the womb, okay? With the bowel, just at the tail end of my digestive system, were closed. So when I was having my periods, the same cells were being affected and it's affecting my bowels as well. So that is why I was having problems with number 2 as well. So that means it had now, I don't know the medical term for it, but it was not just inside the womb, but also outside, okay? And then something funny, I was told one of my ovaries was actually down, like it had descended, right? Like you see the way the drawing of your ovaries is like, this is the womb and this is your ovaries like this. Mine was like this at an academic angle. Because when they are doing the scans, they couldn't see one, so it was like this. Then the doctor telling me, we were searching for the other one, we couldn't find it. So we're looking, and then we find it down here. You were like this. conversation we're having. But then again, it was funny. We were just, gosh, but I like my doctor because he did all the best he could for me at that particular time. And then just to make it lighter, on a lighter note, yeah, because this is a serious situation, I didn't know what, yeah. So I tell my doc, I'm like, okay, fine. So what do we do now? Yes, we've seen he draws for me the image of how it looks like, and this is how it is, and this is how it is, and he tells me the details about it, yeah, which I'm not going to. And then he gives me options. And he gives me options. So the options he gives me is we continue with the pain meds. Now, dose. That's the first option. I was like, I have been taking meds all my life. I am not willing to continue with this. Can we look for something different? And then he tells me the second option is to go in and shrink the specific areas that have abnormal tissue, okay, including the fibroids. I'm like, and if we do that, is there a possibility of them coming back? And then he says, like, yeah, for that one, there's a possibility of them coming back. I'm like, I'm not going through this again. I don't want that. What's the other alternative you have for me? Then he's like, there's another alternative, but this is drastic. Like, we get rid of your uterus and the abnormal tissue. So we do a hysterectomy for you. The thing about this is that it's a major surgery. Like for me, I've never had surgery. Yeah. Now this is the first time I'm having a surgery and I'm having a major surgery. I'm like, okay, doc. So what will happen with this? So he's like, for this, what we'll do, we will leave your ovaries, because ovaries are actually what is it called? Are important for the creation of the female hormone, so that you don't go into menopause immediately. So that's why we're gonna leave your ovaries, okay? But all the tissues, including your uterus and your cervix, will be removed. Now, with this, the thing is that one, you will not have babies because you no longer have a womb, and two, you will not have your periods, because again, you don't have any uterine lining to be shed every month because your womb is out. Now, this is actually a bittersweet moment, you know, because ever since I was in primary, I was like, why do we have to have periods? I mean, so here I have been given the choice. Yeah, you can stop the periods altogether by, removing your womb. And this is a medical situation where it is being removed, right? But then again, the cost of that is that if ever you wanted a baby, then that's not an option for you. You cannot carry a baby on your own. All right? At this point in time, this was the best deal for me. Reason being, my quality of life had really been affected. Thanks to COVID, thanks to that period, we used to work from home. So what happened is, if I had my periods and it was a working day, no one will see me go through that pain, because you are actually on a Teams call, yeah? So you just mute, and then you coil and do all the dances you can do as the pain circles, and then when the pain finishes, you again unmute to talk. Sometimes you'd be asked in the call, can we hear what you have to say? Like, what is your opinion on this? But at that time, you're going through that cycle of pain. So you still mute it was because you can't talk, like the pain is bad. And then you admit, you're like, sorry, I was talking on mute. Yeah, that is how serious it was for me. But I had it, right? And I delivered, yeah. So as I talked to my doctor, I'm like, Doc, I know what I have gone through all these years, right? I'll deal with the psychological aspects, right? I will deal with it. And at this point in time, I feel my best option right now is to go through the hysterectomy, right? I have had enough. I have suffered enough. I don't want to do this again. And of course, from my family side, there's actually a history of fibroids on my maternal side. So it didn't come as a surprise for me. So that's when I told the doc, you know what, having reviewed the options you've given me, let's go ahead with the procedure. Let's go ahead, yeah. And I tell people, when you make a decision, make it for you, okay? Just make it for you. Because in the long term, it is you who will feel the impact. It is you who will feel the consequences, okay? So if you have a huge decision, ask this. I know there are people who would want to have kids in the future. There are people who don't, like myself. And if you are in that category of where you would like kids in the future, I think you need to think more through it, because this is a permanent solution to your pain, all right? You need to think through it thoroughly before making that decision. But always put yourself first. That is what I'll tell all ladies. Always put yourself, when it comes to matters reproductive, and it is your body, please just make sure you are comfortable with it, right? Let me just take a bite. I'm feeling hungry. Nice. So, at this particular point in time, I decided this is the route I'm gonna follow. I called my mom. My mom has always been my number one supporter, and I told her, Mom, you know what I've been going through, right? She said, yes. Mom, you know this is not good for me. Especially mentally and physically, I feel this is draining for me. She's like, yes, I know. So I asked her to be with me during the procedure. And wow, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially when your own parent gets to see you go through pain. It's not easy. It's not easy for them. They might put on a strong face, but let me tell you, it's not easy. So during this International Women's Day, women all over the world, I urge you, take care of yourselves, all right? Put yourself first, okay? Everything will fall into place, right? So having made the decision, it was time to go to the hospital. I think this video is already long enough. Tune in my next part 2 on now the procedure itself and how it went. So thank you for checking in, all the ladies. Have a nice, wonderful Women's Day, and I love you all. Bye guys, in my next video.